General Haig, sir. Ready.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Al. What about the casualties last week? You got the figure yet?
No, sir, but I think it's going to be quite low. It should be as last week or better.
Yeah, 'cause it should be less than 20, I would think, yeah.
So it'll be very...
when do you get that? Will you know?
We don't get it officially till Monday afternoon, but we can get a reading on it.
Right, well, Monday afternoon officially. Well, let's wait till then. Fine. Okay. Nothing else of interest in the world
Yes,
today?
sir. Very significant, this goddamn New York Times expose of the most highly classified documents of the war.
Oh, that. I see. I didn't read the story, but you mean that was leaked out of the Pentagon?
Sir, the whole study that was done for McNamara and then carried on after McNamara left by Clifford and the peaceniks over there. This is a devastating security breach of the greatest magnitude of anything I've ever seen.
Well, what's being done about it then? I mean, I didn't... did we know this was coming out?
No, we did not, sir.
Yeah.
There are just a few copies of this.
Well, what about the
volume report?
Well, what about the? Let me ask you this though. What about Laird? What's he going to do about it? Now, I'd just start right at the top and fire some people. I mean, whatever department it came out of, I'd fire the top guy.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm sure it came from defense, and I'm sure it was stolen at the time of the turnover of the administration.
Oh, it's 2 years old then.
I'm sure it is, and they've been holding it for a juicy time, and I think they've thrown it out to affect Hatfield McGovern. That's my own estimate. But it's something that it's a mixed bag. It's a tough attack on Kennedy. It shows that the genesis of the war really occurred during 61.
Yeah, that's Clifford. I see.
And it's brutal on President Johnson. They're going to end up in a massive gut fight in the Democratic Party on this thing.
Are they?
There's some very...
But also massive against the war.
Against the war.
But it's a Pentagon study, huh? Hello.
Mr. President, I have Dr. Kissinger calling you.
Okay.
Thank you. President.
Hello.
Mr. President.
Hi, Henry. How are things in California?
Well, I just got here, and I'm going to leave very early in the morning, so I'll be back in the early afternoon.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine.
I understand you've talked to...
Yeah, Haig I talked to him about the...
To Haig already, and I just wanted to...
Yeah.
To check in. Actually, things are fairly quiet. We've got the casualties now. And unfortunately, they're higher than what I told you yesterday. They're about 23. But still, that's a low figure.
Yeah.
That's just 4 above what we had.
Yeah.
They must have picked up some missing in action. The trouble with the daily casualties is that they don't reflect the ones that died that were wounded the previous week.
Yep. Well, on the other hand, my God, Henry, to 1923, good heavens.
Oh,
It's just down to nothing.
That's right.
I mean, it's...
And the more I've thought about Lee Ducteau coming west, I'm not saying they're going to accept it, but if they were just going to kick us in the teeth, they wouldn't need him there.
No.
So they're at least going to explore.
Yeah, well, particularly if our Chinese friends lean on him a little, they will.
That's right, if he's stopping it.
And they just might lean on him a little. Yeah.
Well, we'll get the answer in a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's, Haig was very disturbed by that New York Times thing. I thought that...
Mr. President, I think...
Unconscionable damn thing to them to do.
Unconscionable. Well,
of course, it's unconscionable on the part of the people that leaked it. Fortunately, it didn't come out in our administration. According to Haig, it all relates to the two previous administrations. Is that correct?
That is right.
But I hope that... my point is, are any of the people there who participated in this thing in leaking it? That's my point. Do we know?
In public opinion, it actually, if anything, will help us a little bit, because this is a gold mine of showing how the previous administration got us in there.
I didn't read the thing. Give me your view on that in a word.
It just shows massive mismanagement of how we got there. And it pins it all on Kennedy and Johnson.
Yeah.
McNamara. So from that point of view, it helps us. From the point of view of the relations with Hanoi, it hurts a little, because it just shows a further weakening of resolve.
Yeah.
And a further big issue.
I suppose the Times ran it to try to affect the debate this week or something.
Yes, no question.
Well, I don't think it's going to have that kind of effect.
No, because in a way, it shows what they've tried to do. I think they outsmarted themselves, because they had sort of tried to make it Nixon's war. And what this massively proves is that if it's anybody's war, it's Kennedy's and Johnson.
Yeah.
So that these Democrats now bleeding about where we went wrong.
Yeah.
Or what we're doing wrong, this graphically shows that who is responsible for the basic mess.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's having the effect that they intend.
Well, you know, it may not have the effect it intended. The thing, though, that Henry, that to me is just unconscionable. This is treasonable action on the part of the bastards that put it out.
Exactly, Mr. President.
Doesn't it involve secure information, a lot of other things? What kind of people would do such things?
It has the highest classifications, Mr. President.
Yeah.
It's treasonable. There's no question. It's actionable. I'm absolutely certain that this violates all sorts of security laws.
What do we do about it? Don't we ask for an...
I think I should talk to Mitchell.
Yeah. No, I think you should. You tell Mitchell that...
If this is not an occasional leak, it's bad enough.
Yeah.
But this is everything the Defense Department possesses.
Yeah. Let me ask this. Call Mitchell. I think you should talk to Mitchell and ask him about his just getting this fellow in on the purpose of this was a security leak, and we want to know, what does he have? Did he do it?
Right.
And put him under oath.
That's right. I think we ought to do that. I think we ought to wait till
another thing to do would be to have a congressional committee call him in.
I think we ought to do it after Wednesday, Mr. President.
The congressional committee could call him in, put him under oath, you know, and then he's guilty of perjury if he lies.
But I think we ought to wait till after the vote before they get it all confused.
Oh, I agree. Well, you couldn't do it before the end anyway, but you know that to get it all set up because you got to have the questions and the investigations and know what it is. But well, we're not going to get disturbed. These things happen, you know. Clifford pops off and this guy pops off. I would think it would infuriate Johnson, wouldn't you?
Oh God. Well, basically, it doesn't hurt us domestically. I think I'm no expert on that, but no one reading this can then say that this president got us into trouble. I mean, this is an indictment of the previous administration. It hurts us with Hanoi because it just shows how far our demoralization has gone.
It's gone.
But basically, I think the decision they have to make is, do they want to settle with you? They know damn well that you are the one who's held firm, and no matter how much anyone else is demoralized, doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, you'll find things out there pleasant enough.
In a simple ceremony, Gerald Ford was sworn in as vice president.
Citing White House wrongdoing, the judge has dismissed all charges against Daniel Ellsberg.
The grand jury has indicted former Nixon aides Haldeman,
I mean, you're a lawyer, for God's sake. How the hell can you let this shit go through? Look, Nixon can't say that.
Well, you did say it, sir.
Never, I didn't say that. I never said that about Jews. Makes me sound like an anti-Semite.
Well, we can check the tapes again.
No need to check the tapes. I know what I said. Look, you lost your mind. Nixon can't. Look, Al, Nixon can't say this. Niggers. I can't say that.
We could delete it.
We're doing the best we can, sir.
Well, it's not good enough.
Well, would you have us black it out, sir?
Oh, we could. We could write expletive deleted.
Look at all these goddamn Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Mr. President, don't you see that all these deletion marks in the transcript make it look as though you do nothing but swear?
Seconds, Mr. President. And 4, 3, 2.
Well, that's a long trip for you, but I wouldn't. Don't worry about this times thing. I just think we got to expect that kind of crap, and we just plow ahead.
Well, Mr. President, if we succeed in 2 out of 3, as you said,
Yeah.
this will look like picnic.
If we can, but boy, you're right about one thing. If anything was needed to underline what we talked about Friday or Saturday morning about really cleaning house when we have the opportunity, by God, this underlines it.
Oh, yes.
And people have got to be put to the torch for this sort of thing. This is terrible.
God was on that plane with me, and he...
Freeman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great fellow.
Oh, he worships you.
What did he think about all this stuff?
He said it's just what you have to put up with, he said. He just could never imagine it. And he said, well, Dulles, he blamed the State Department, which is wrong in this case, because they had to do with this one.
No, I know.
But he said Dulles always used to say that he had to operate alone because he couldn't trust his own bureaucracy.
Yeah, I know.
I said, well, that was good for Dulles, but we pay for it now because we're stuck with the bureaucracy.
That's right. Well, I just wish that we operated without the bureaucracy.
Well, Mr. President.
We do.
All the good things that are being done are done without.
We do. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what, on the Mitchell thing, I just have him examine what the options are. And the Times will justify it on the basis that it serves the national interest. Is that right?
Of course.
My God, you know, can you imagine the New York Times doing a thing like this 10 years ago? Even 10 years ago.
Mr. President, and then when McCarthy accused them of treason, they were screaming bloody murder. This is treason.
That's right. No, whatever they may think of the policy, it is treasonable to take this stuff out, and
oh, it's one thing to
serves the enemy.
It's another thing to print 10 pages of top-secret documents that are only about 2 or 3 years old. Well, they have nothing from our administration, so actually, I've read this stuff. We come out pretty well in it.
Well, somebody over there got the stuff that we got. Although I asked Haig about that, and he says, well, look, our file, as far as the White House is concerned, we're pretty damn secure. On the other hand, of course, naturally, whenever I've had to call Rogers and Mel in on some of these on Laos and Cambodia, you can be sure all that's in some file.
But, Mr. President, all the big things you've done in the White House, and those files will leave with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Go to the Nixon library.
But what I meant, though, that's true of the files, but I mean, these guys, of course, will have made in their own records, they'll indicate what I've ordered, you know.
Oh, they indicate what you ordered, but they have turned in on the reason.
Yeah. Well, let's not worry about that.